Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is LouAnn and welcome to my kitchen. That coffee is a-brewing, and you know there is some sweet iced tea somewhere in this house. So anyway, this is another soup recipe today, a stew recipe. And of course, I am going to make it my own, as most soup recipes you can do. So let me turn the camera around. And let's get preparing some ingredients. This will be a slow cooker recipe and will be the last recipe, I do believe, of appetizers and soups. I think. There may be one more. I'm not 100%. I will have to look at my calendar. So let me stop a-gabbing and let's go and cut up some veggies. First thing I'm going to chop up is 1 onion. So I'm going to get that chopped, add it to my slow cooker, which is over here. So we're going to chop the onion up, and then I'm going to get the one more vegetable we're going to add to this besides our stew meat. And then the other vegetable, since I canned all of it, I will have to add a canned version of that, which will be later. So I'm going to cut up the onion and I'll be right back. So the next vegetable we got to chop is celery. It says to add about a half a cup to that. I'm going to probably just do 2 stalks, and then I will be cutting up the rest of this because I do not want it to go to waste. I may dehydrate it. I'm not 100%, but I don't want this to go to waste. And I only needed 2 stalks. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut that up and I'll be right back. So, this did call for 1 chopped carrot. I do not have... I'm going to add a can of home canned cooked carrots at a later when we add our green beans and tortellini. So I'm going to add that later. So the next thing we need to do is to add our beef stew. And yes, this is store-bought beef stew because I went and bought that. And then it did call for 2 cans of consomme. I'm not adding that. I'm adding 2 home cans of deer broth. And I'm going to add a can of diced tomatoes. I wish I was able to get tomatoes last year, but I was not. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar to that. So like I said, I'm adding deer broth instead of the consomme. I think that would give it better flavor. Now I just opened the 2 jars with my church key. This is what I've always called this bottle opener, a church key. So, and of course, we will probably have to stir this up before we put it in our slow cooker. I mean, in the rest of part of the slow cooker. It's kind of dark in the kitchen over there, so that's why I do that. So I brought it over here, so I'm going to stir this up, put it in the slow cooker, put it on low, and this will be tonight's supper. Later on, we will be adding green beans, a can of green beans that was supposed to have been frozen, but I'm doing my own. And a can of carrots and tortellini about an hour before it's done. We're going to be adding those, and I will not show that on video. I may take a photo of them and then go from there. So I'm going to stir this up, put it on low. This is tonight's supper for this cold, windy day. So in about 45 minutes, give or take, I'm going to add a bag of tortellini, 3 cheese that was supposed to have been frozen. My store don't carry that. And I'm also going to add a drained can of green beans. Again, this was supposed to be frozen, but I'm not doing that. So I'm going to add these 2 in about 30 minutes. so we can let them cook, let it cook, and that will be tonight's supper. Our tortellini beef stew. So there you go.